If you're watching this video, chances are you want to learn how to build an electromagnetic accelerator of the linear variety. You're going to want some copper wire, which is of as thickest gauge as possible, preferably multi-strand to reduce the skin effect, and you're going to want a piece of PVC pipe that is the diameter of your projectile, but preferably slightly wider than the diameter of your projectile. I'll be using this pipe and wire to create a coil. So we're just going to skip ahead to the bit where I create the coil. I've got a coil here wrapped around. I just used some hot glue from a hot glue gun to secure this copper wire in place, and we need a soldering iron to put these two joints here soldered to a relay output switch of a very high caliber, or we can just touch the terminals directly, which is usually the option which I choose. So I'm going to take this down to the garage and chop here and here. We just go on a wee adventure through the house. I'll just put the camera on the bench over here. Well, where are we? Let's see, put a light over here. So I'll just put this in the vise, and then I'll just locate a hacksaw. I want to leave a bit of a room on the outside so I can put a end cap on the end here. We're just going to cut this so that it's nice and flush. This will be the outgoing end of the pipe, and the ingoing one I will create a chamber, or I might actually just cut at the length of the projectile, or the rough length of the projectile, but only cut it halfway. Cut it this way here. Now we've got this attachment here. I'm going to attach this here. I'll reattach this here and take it off when we want to. Now I think I'll just grip it in the vise vertically. I don't know if you can see that. Just a second, let me adjust it. So we'll take our pipe and just cut it halfway here. Might have to open the vise a bit. Just put this whole thing in there. Just sort of eyeball it. Here we go. And we'll just begin cutting. Try and keep it as straight as possible. And we'll go to almost the end, but not quite the end. And then we'll take this thing and flip it sideways. Oh, that's not going to cut it. We'll just have to put it like this. And then cut into the side. And now I've got a nice little hollow groove here. I'm going to go get some sandpaper. Just a second. Got to get a sandpaper bucket. Let's see if we can find some old sandpaper that's not a belt of anything. No, we'll just use this old sandpaper belt. Neaten up the edges. Let's blow that up nice and clean. Now we've got our coil, which is the most important part in a linear electromagnetic accelerator. or some people just call it a coilgun. And basically what happens is you put your ferrous metal core in here. Let me just find something. Let's say we've got this metal rod. We would put this in here and then dump a current through here from a capacitor, and then it will accelerate the projectile like that. Well, that's the desired outcome. And then we could hopefully maybe make a piston or something and use that for a solenoid motor, a one cylinder. If you were clever enough to do that, I suppose you could do that. Alright, so now I've got to get the electronics down, and I just need to locate the where have we got soldering iron? Looking for a soldering iron. This is my one from high school. I don't know if this will be hot enough. I'll try it. I'll try it anyway. I'll just take this. We'll go back upstairs. Here we go. Let's go to my workstation and plug in this soldering iron. Alright, we're back at the workstation again with poor lighting, but that's never stopped me before. And we're just gonna unplug one of these little hot glue guns and plug in our soldering iron. Oh, here we go. In it goes, on it goes. Got the little flashlights on the soldering iron so you can see where you're doing your work. And let's see. For some reason it's not turning on. Is it hot? Soldering iron isn't heating up. Maybe I need to get a new soldering iron? Let's see. I don't think that soldering iron's working. I think we're going to just leave our coil here and we will go to the garage and get another soldering iron because that soldering iron was not working. Let's get the soldering iron that I've had since I was a kid. I had this soldering iron since I was like 5. This one really takes me back. I used to do Dick Smith electronic components, all the little tutorials that they had. I used to follow them along and build little circuits when I was little. Anyway, let's try using this soldering iron, since that one doesn't seem to be working with all its fancy switches. Ignore that, I just passed wind. Pardon me. Here we go. Try another soldering iron. There we go. Let's see. Is it warming up? Please work, please work. Oh, it's not even warming up. Come on, please work. Oh, we're just gonna hope that that works. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to get it to work at the moment, so Maybe I'll just make this a part 1 of building a coil gun, and then I'll come back to it when I've actually managed to get a new soldering iron from town. So this is the end of part 1, making a linear electromagnetic accelerator. Sorry, this is part 1 of, this is the okay, take 2. This is the end of part 1 of creating an electromagnetic accelerator. This is the end of part 1 of creating an electromagnetic accelerator. This is the end of part 1 of creating a linear electromagnetic accelerator. So thanks for watching, and consider subscribing or leaving a comment on advice you may have to give me or questions you want to ask me, which I doubt anyone will, because I'm not particularly important in this part of the world. But if you're watching, I hope you enjoyed my video. So yeah, see you around.